Okay, thought I'd shoot a little update and kind of tell you guys where I'm at and what I've been doing, which actually is not much on the truck. I've been crazy busy at work, so I have not been able to work on it at all, but I have been able to start gathering some parts here, and so I thought I'd shoot a little video and kind of show you what I have thus far and what I'm waiting on and kind of what the plan is. Okay, the first thing here is the transmission. So this is a 2004 480. I didn't know the condition of this when I bought it, so I went ahead and had it gone through. Ended up doing a stock rebuild on this. We added the Transgo HD2 kit to it, so they say this should be good for about 600 horsepower. From what I'm told from all these parts that I'm starting to buy here and the motor that I'm building, I should have about 500 or so, so that's well within the limits of this transmission. So it ended up being a whole lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be. A whole lot more expensive than rebuilding the old turbo 350s and 400s and stuff like that. But this should be pretty bulletproof. I started kind of cleaning the one side there. It came out of a local tire truck here, out of a local big rig company here. So it has a lot of gravel dust on it. So it's kind of embedded in down into the aluminum there. So it was hot tanked when they rebuilt it, but I'm just going to kind of wire brush it up and clean it up a little bit. I may paint it black. I don't know yet. So that's kind of where the transmission's at right now. I don't think there's anything else about that. So I don't think there is. Just got to buy some fittings for it and reassemble, put all the brackets back on it and a shift indicator and all that stuff. So that's with that. Next up here is the heads. These, I debated long and hard on these, and I ended up going with the Texas Speed heads. These are actually the 317 heads that came off the motor when I bought it. So, they cleaned them up. They look brand new. So, these are the stage 1 heads that they sell. They sell a stage 2 as well. The only difference between a stage 1 and a stage 2 is the valves. Now, these are the stock valves for these 317 heads. The upgraded valves are stainless steel and slightly larger. I think these are 200 and the stainless valves are like a 202. So just ever so slightly bigger. The flow numbers on them wasn't enough for me to justify. It was only $200 to go to them, but I figured that's $200 is $200. I can spend that on something else. So I think it was like 6 CFM difference between these and the stainless valves. So not enough for me to worry about. The flow is already dramatically increased over stock heads. But they are decked on all the flanges. I actually ended up milling the heads 30 thousandths just to bump the compression up closer to 10. I think it's like right at 10 when you do that. Fully CNC'd both sides, so you can kind of see that in there. It looks great. I mean, they did an excellent job. Decked all the flanges, so everything's smooth. Just a great deal. See if I can flip this over here real quick. Talk about the top up here. So, like I said, stock valves. Now, these have the pack dual valve springs. These are like a 660 lift valve spring. Titanium retainers, new seats, stem seals, everything like that. Just kind of going for the gold here. These springs are a little more than I need, but figured they don't really cost that much and they're assembling them, so go ahead and put the good stuff in it for now. It's pretty much it with the heads. So the rockers, I'm going to actually use stock rockers with a trunnion upgrade. I wasn't going to do a trunnion upgrade, and then I decided to go ahead and do it. The guy who's building my engine is actually, I'm actually buying a set off of him. He had some laying around. They're the needle bearing kind, not the brass bushing, but they're captured, so the needle bearings cannot fall out like the stock ones. That's what I was kind of worried about, all this money on building this thing, and all it takes is one of these rockers shelling out and just toasting the motor with all those needle bearings. So that's with the heads, and next up we'll talk about some of the other parts I got. Okay, now for the rest of the parts that I got from Texas Speed. They're kind of a nice little one-stop shop. I actually priced all these parts kind of a la carte from various vendors, and the prices were about the same, so I figured to just order it all from one place. Ended up coming in 5 boxes, so the FedEx man loved me. But anyway, the torque converter here is actually a Circle D, the 278 millimeter, and I think they call this their HP series. I'm probably going to get that wrong. I need to look that up, and quite honestly, I should know that. This is a 26 to 2800 stall. The cool thing about this is it actually bolts up to a 4L60 dished flex plate. Which actually works out because that's what I have. When I bought the 6 liter, it came out of a Denali that had a 4L60 in it. So perfect, works out great. Not too high of a stall, so it'll be perfect with the cam here. And the cam is a 224R. We talked at great length, and that is a cam that they said would be a good all-around cam. Has some decent chop at idle and makes some pretty good power in mid-upper range. I'm not going to be racing the truck, but it'd be nice to know that the power is there if I need it. Also bought a set of OEM head bolts. I didn't want to get crazy and do anything, spend a bunch of money on any ARPs or anything like that. I mean, Sloppy made, 1,200 horsepower at the wheels on stock reused head bolts. So these will be fine for what I'm doing. Got a set of 7375 push rods, the hardened push rods. Since I milled the heads, I went with 25 thousandths shorter. Crank bolt, LS7 lifters, milling oil pump, LS2 timing chain, and I also got a plethora of gaskets. These are the 6.2 gaskets, intake manifold gaskets, and everything else you need to rebuild this. All OEM, so shouldn't have any problems making some power. I'm not going to go, like I say, nothing crazy. Maybe a Pro Charger down the way, but that's way down the road. Just want to get this running so that I can actually enjoy it, because it's been down for almost a year. Next month will be a year. But like I've said in previous videos, an hour at a time. It's the way it goes. So that's kind of all those parts here. And here we go. We've got the stock bread box intake. I'm actually going to take this apart tonight and throw it in a tub with some degreaser and clean this thing out. It's full of oil. The PCV valve on the motor was stuck open, so it sucked a bunch of crap into it. So I'm going to strip it down. I've already got the injectors out. I ended up buying and doing a little research. Actually, a fellow YouTuber, Bad Luck Garage, he has a Facebook page, and great information, by the way. Check him out. I'll link him below in the description. But I ended up finding, at the recommendation of a couple people on his page, fuel injectors out of a 2010 to 2017 2500 Silverado or Sierra 6 liter. Just the stock injectors. They're flex fuel injector. They're actually the same mounting height, and unfortunately I don't have one down here with me, but same mounting height. They sit in, so no spacers required. They are a different connector. It's the EV6 style connector versus the truck multi-tech, but I'm getting a harness anyway, so I'll just spec it with those connectors on. But they flow 50 pounds an hour versus the stock 24s. So the stock 24s are pretty much at their max duty cycle stock, so there's not a whole lot of room to play with those. So I ordered a set of those. They're actually got one upstairs. The rest of them are going to be here next week. So that's nice, a nice OEM replacement. So no worries about fitment or any aftermarket problems, anything like that. So my tuner said no problem. He'll just swap over the fuel tables from the newer ECU into my ECU. So, but that's kind of what I've got going on tonight. The truck is still sitting here filthy. I need to take this thing and clean it. But unfortunately, my dehumidifier here in my basement shop area is quit working, so it's like 80% humidity down here, so it's like a sweatshop. I know, first world problems, but plan is to get in this weekend and clean all this up, strip out all the stuff, the fuel lines, the trans lines, anything and everything that's not needed, and scrub, clean, and paint. Thinking about having both of the inner fenders powder coated, as well as the battery tray. I do have a problem with that battery tray, so I may see if I can't find a nicer one, an OEM. I got a guy down the street that sells a lot of C10 parts, actually a couple guys on the street. See if I can get a new one, maybe get that powder coated as well. I forgot to talk about the motor. It is actually at the machine shop right now, and it is being built. he is unfortunately kind of a one-man band, so he builds a lot of sprint car motors. So he is pretty backed up this time of year. Everybody dropping off their stuff. So, hey, I'll take it. He said he can get this motor done in 4 to 6 weeks, and this is actually 6 weeks. So if he gets this done this week, that'll be awesome. But once that's back, we can start slamming all these parts back together and get this bad boy in here and get it wired up and fired up, as they say. So, but that's kind of where I'm at. I know I've been kind of rambling, kind of a rambletron, as Sloppy says, but just kind of wanted to show where I'm at and what I'm doing. It's been a while since I've been uploading, and I apologize for that. But so hopefully pretty quick, it ought to be getting pretty exciting. So putting all these parts together, and still got a bunch of parts to order, and I'll kind of talk about that as we go when we start installing everything. But that's kind of where I am tonight, and I wanted to kind of update y'all. So like always, please like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you.